like it? Yeah, that was huge!
Welcome back to No Contest, more than just a behind-the-scenes series. It's Stab and Red Bull's deep dive into the cultural richness, the unique charm, and the radical local characters that make each of the 11 stops on the World Championship Tour special. On this episode, we'll take a look at the largest favela in the Southern Hemisphere, score one of the best days Saquarema's ever seen, and learn the secret to proper Brazilian churrasco. This is No Contest Brazil. It's a long, winding haul to Brazil from Australia. From Perth, it's a 5-hour flight to Sydney, and then any number of flight paths to get to Rio de Janeiro. You're looking at anywhere from 22 to 36 hours through Dubai, Santiago, Buenos Aires, and elsewhere. Be prepared for baggage snafus, flight delays, and cancellations. Welcome back to No Contest. We're here in Brazil. We're heading down to Saquarema tomorrow, but you can't come to Brazil without getting a good look at Rio. And we have the best tour guide that you could ever ask for, the Brazilian Bridge. Steven Allain's here, former editor of Stab, current editor of Moist. We're gonna take a look at what 7 million people look like from above.
Let's go.
Rio de Janeiro is the cultural capital of Brazil, a gorgeous melting pot of European, African, Middle Eastern, and Portuguese. A city of almost 7 million, it's one of the most visited destinations in the Southern Hemisphere, with millions of tourists arriving each year to listen and dance to samba, bossa nova, Brazilian funk, all at their origin. The iconic Rio favelas and the famous white sand beaches of Copacabana, Ipanema, and Barra da Tijuca. With countless coastal towns in the state of Rio de Janeiro stretching to the north and south, it is widely considered one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It's a Sunday in Ipanema Beach, and I'm dodging soccer balls. These guys are playing Oxinha, which means, I believe, up in the air, ball up in the air. But there's just beautiful women everywhere. Men in various states of undress. How are you, brother? It's the most beautiful people you've ever seen in your entire life. Just another Sunday in Rio. From Rio, it's an hour-and-a-half drive north to one of the most iconic surf towns on the Brazilian coast, Saquarema. So Saquarema is technically part of Rio. Like, this is considered a Rio town.
Yeah, a lot of people confuse because there's Rio de Janeiro state and Rio de Janeiro city. You know, so Saquarema is part of the state. Brazil is so diverse from south to north, and that reflects in the surf cultures for sure. But there's something that strings together all Brazilian surfers. You know, it's hard to describe, but it's I don't know. It's like I hate that word passion. You know,
Yeah.
like heart. I don't know. Like it's unconditional happiness. You know, when you're in the water, always smiling and yelling, and you know, like probably that was way better word than passion.
This is Tropical Self-Service Cafe, a Saquarema daily stop for most of the world's best, and one of the town's most beloved local family-owned restaurants, who've welcomed the World Tour here over the last few years, as evidenced by the faces on the wall of fame above the counter. How's this wall behind us? Sweetest ladies in the world right here. Who's this guy? The guy in that photo, that's Iago Dora, a young Brazilian CT star. We'll be meeting him later. North to south, there's crazy little surf towns that have produced pro surfers. They're not all from one zone.
No. A lot of most famous surfers from Brazil are from, Florianopolis, Santa Catarina, and then Rio and São Paulo. But a lot of our champions come from up north. Fabio Gouveia. I'm not going to go through names because there's so many.
The Brazilian coastline is more than 7,500 kilometers long, absolutely peppered with surf and riddled with world-class setups. In the last 20 years, from Fortaleza in the north, south to Torres, more surfers have risen to the top of the World Tour rankings from Brazil than any other country. We're gonna go see if all the stereotypes about Brazilians being aggressive in the water is true, because there's about 50 of them on this little sandbank just to the south of the event site. The waves look fun. I just saw João Daru get a really good one. See what we can pick off the pack. Yeah, and the criticism of them being too aggressive or, you know, too enthusiastic. After being here, it feels like if you were to show up at a basketball court in Brooklyn and be like, why are you guys playing so rough? You know what I mean? You're like, what do you mean? Like, this is how it happens.
You have to understand Brazil in a way to understand the way Brazilian surfers act. At what we were talking about, the first place to be surfed in Rio, there's a favela right up there. And so the people who live in Ipanema and Leblon, which are the nicest neighborhoods in Rio, have access to the same beach that these kids from favelas do, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not like you asked, you have to be rich to live by the beach, you know? So in that sense, you get everyone in the culture involved, you know?
Yeah.
But for the poorer kids, and that's we already see that a lot in soccer, you know.
Yeah.
Like a chance of being a professional athlete is a chance of really like changing your life and changing your family's life. Also the way we are in sports, the way we're competitive and feisty, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's part of our culture. Like we're not like, oh, just sit around and wait your turn, you know. Like we're not like that.
Yeah.
And that can be perceived as like, oh, these guys are disrespectful, they're not waiting their turn, but it's also like you're not really understanding where we're coming from, you know, like over here we have to fight for everything, and I know that that's a cliche, but it's for pretty much everything in life. Life is much harder here.
Yeah.
Like, to make money is much harder. You gotta work much more.
Yeah.
To travel, everything is harder. But I think in the end, it's all about like trying to understand. It's much easier to you know regurgitate some stereotype than to try to understand where they're coming from.
Totally.
Beleza de olhar, beleza de sonhar.
More than anywhere in the world, surfers are full-blown celebrities in Brazil, regardless of nationality. They're rock stars around the event site, and beloved anywhere they go around town. Competition to get interviews.
I beat you to it.
Wait,
I feel like this is like the only spot I'm famous.
Because the Brazilians are really fan, you know.
What, soccer and then surfing? That's how it goes.
They're loud, they're fun, they're passionate, it's sick.
Well, day one, Saquarema was the biggest crowd I've ever seen. It was wild.
The Brazilians love people, you know. It's different. We love people.
Like the other day coming up from my heat, this girl came up to me and she grabbed my cheeks and gave me a little kissy face, and I was just like, whoa, like she was kind of hot.
Are you more famous here than anywhere else in the world?
People know me as Wadey here, and it's pretty funny. And they just yell at me.
They just yell at you all day long.
I don't know what they're saying, but I hope it's good stuff.
Are they the best like surf fans ever though?
Yeah.
It's kind of sick.
They love it.
Like, all day long.
They're all that stoked.
Thank you.
They probably didn't even see me catch a wave just then.
They're just pumped that you're here with a sticker on your board.
Yeah.
Loud and proud, Brazilians are without a doubt the most enthusiastic, friendly surf fans in all the world. Every surfer's a star here, regardless of nationality. Hell, even lowly surf mag editors get asked for photos every once in a while. one thing in the surf world that's universally loved from Brazil, it's foo wax.
I do use foo wax, yeah.
It's still hard to get.
Really?
Now when I come here, I'll just stock up.
It's like diamond, huh? Yeah, it's easier to find now.
They look at the box and it's like, all mine. I'm gonna take it.
Before it was like hunting down gold. It's hard to find, expensive, I know. When I go to another place, my whole friends say, okay, bring some foo wax. Oh yeah, that's it.
Fuad, the owner's son, Guy, is here in Saquarema, and he said that he might have a package for me, so.
You brought the goods.
My name is Guilherme Mansour, and I'm son of Fuad Mansour, the creator of Fuwax. My dad has been in the business more than 45 years. So back in the days in Brazil, there's nobody doing leash or pad tractions or surfboard wax. All the surfers was doing their own wax, melting the candles and putting mixing with sand and a little bit of essence. I guess people's on the tour, I started to hear about it on 2011. The interview with Kolohe in Australia.
Yeah.
He's holding a bar of food in a Stab Mag and talking about us. So all the pro surfers start to looking for us.
Yeah.
We're just a family factory. We work in like 5 guys. That's what we love to do it. So once you love to do the things, it's not a hard work because it's always fun.
Cocada em Itaúna, Saquarema e Jaconé. Vendou pra quem tá sentado, vendou pra quem tá em pé. Minha prima, ela tira uma onda de bacana. Vai no piscinão de ramo, diz que foi em Copacabana. Todo dia ela vai.
You said 5 for 10?
5 por 10. 5 coconut.
Perfecto. The beach scene in Brazil is unlike anywhere else. This guy here, he's singing the hard sell on some homemade coconut cocadas.
Vendo pra quem tá em pé. Fui, é melhor cocada do Brasil. Valeu!
To Brazil!
Yeah!
It's an afternoon lay day. The waves were pretty underwhelming this morning at the contest, and I feel like people get this idea that Brazil doesn't have a lot of options, but we're down at a wave where they ran the finals at last year, the 2018 Oi Rio Pro, and they're like towing. There's just like death slabs off this groin. It's like 6 foot, and I think I'll save that cocada for after a few floggings. Wish me luck. Speaking of getting roasted.
What's better, South African, American, or Brazilian barbecue?
South African.
Burro on the bra, come on.
Brazil, of course, man. For sure it's Brazilian barbecue.
Oh, I'm from the Florida, bro. American barbecue. What the hell are you talking about?
You can't beat an Australian barbecue. You just can't. The best.
Aussie barbecue all day, mate.
Florida's no, eh?
All day.
Florida's no, eh?
They definitely eat a lot of meat here, but you haven't been to South Africa because if you want salad, you basically eat chicken.
And no matter what, we like to barbecue with friends, with everybody, with girls, I don't know.
I think the Brazilian barbecue is better.
Yeah?
Yeah, you just eat with your hands and cruise with the boys and a couple
exactly
girls
what it
too.
is.
And you just talk shit.
It's Saturday in Saquarema, the last night of the event, and we are about to send this off with a proper Brazilian barbecue. We're here to meet up with Leandro and Iago Dora, the king and prince of Florianopolis, and I'm very excited to find out what the secret is to a proper churrasco dinner. So here, we'll see how we go. Remember that guy from the photo earlier? That's Iago Dora, second generation Brazilian pro and one of the most universally adored surfers on the planet. What's the reasoning for having the difference in size?
Maybe here for picanha.
Yeah.
And here for ribs.
Ah, like slower cook.
Higher, slower, you know?
Yeah.
Timing.
So how often do you guys barbecue like this?
Every week.
Every week.
Yeah.
Sometimes two
Sometimes a week.
times on week.
And always invite like a big crew over?
Yeah. The friends and
the house. Sometimes we invite like 5 people and they end up bringing like 5 more.
15.
Turns into like
You talk to 5 and
Yeah.
in
They bring,
total
each of them
15.
bring 2? Yeah.
What we usually see in America is that each person has their own plates. Like you get a steak done and then you put in your own plate and you eat it.
Yeah.
In Brazil, you cut everything there on the table and everyone just is around the table having beers and talking shit and grabbing their food.
Just grab little bites.
Yeah. So it's not only about like the meal, it's about like getting people together and like it's the good opportunity to get all your friends together and catch up.
Vai, Diego.
That is absolutely amazing.
Is it good?
Would you say the fat is what makes it smell good? It makes it taste good too.
Yeah. Exactly. You have
The grilled cheese? This is fat kid shit right here. I love it.
And
Do you see the clip of his too?
yeah, and the young guys.
extra meat.
Yeah.
Out time.
He gets extra meat today.
Yeah, he gets the meat of the
Look at this.
meat of the
Look at
night.
this.
The best
This time?
piece goes to him.
This time.
And when I look at, oh my God, there's more.
No way! Like you were cycling
Yeah,
and then the double up.
I just claimed it. Look the second set. Oh! No! No, look the second set.
That's it for No Contest Brazil. From here, we're heading to South Africa. We're going to make sure to take advantage of this barbecue happening behind us and eat about a pound of red meat with Iago and João and Mateus and all the boys. Thanks for coming.